Welcome back, TCS TV viewers.
Yeah, welcome back.
This is my nightmare. It's like minus 25 out. This is our first take. Chris's beard is already frozen itself solid. But,
I think I'm crying. I can't tell because there's no liquid possible in this wasteland.
But you guys have been asking for a while. Why don't you guys go back and do some shootouts? So with Levi filming us today, we have our opportunity. So we seized it, and we could not secure any indoor shooting locations. So we're doing a shootout today, Chris.
Yeah, RX100 Mark V, which is a way better camera than your Panasonic LX10.
I got the Panasonic LX10, which I bet is going to be a much better value.
Easy.
These are both like
but this is going to be a way better
cameras.
camera. This is totally going to do like
you know what?
everything better.
We'll do more of this later. Let's cut and start taking pictures so we can finish shooting.
Those are my tires. I'm shooting those tires.
So Chris, I mean, the RX100 cameras have been like crazy popular for a long time, and we're starting to see other manufacturers trying to emulate that.
I know,
so
Canon tried to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Panasonic now with this is trying to do it.
Yeah.
Nikon kind of sort of thought about doing it.
If they ever actually produce a DL camera.
Yeah.
Now, this does have a few cool tricks up its sleeve.
Yes.
I mean, we have a 1-inch chip on both.
But I got a 1-inch chip on mine.
Yeah.
Mine's a stacked sensor. It's totally stacked.
Mine's backside illuminated, which is still beautiful image quality. I mean, there's a lot of cameras using this. But
are you a stacked man or a backside man?
I'm probably a backside man.
I'm a stacked
honestly.
man. So yeah, okay.
However, I mean, like the sensor's only part of the equation, and my lens just kicks the shit out of yours. I mean, I've got
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a 1.4 to 2.8, so I'm 2/3 of a stop faster than your 1.8 to 2.8 at the wide angle.
Fair enough, I will give you that, but that's
And
not a big deal
Not
just
only
at
that,
the wide.
but I've got a 24 to 72 millimeter equivalent.
And I have a 24 to 70. It's 2 millimeters.
2 millimeters can make. I got the compression advantage here.
2 millimeters can make a difference?
Yeah, 2 millimeters can make a huge
If you
difference.
only had 2 millimeters and then you got another 2 millimeters, that would be a big difference.
I don't know.
Otherwise, no, it doesn't make
proportionally
a big difference.
small zoom range, big difference.
Oh. So handling on these cameras, Jordan, I mean,
yes.
The RX100 is a proven commodity. It's very
it hasn't
popular because
changed.
it's compact. It hasn't changed, you know, but by far for me, I think the biggest thing is going to be viewfinder.
Yeah,
I've got a viewfinder.
Absolutely, and I'm really missing that out.
I
mean, we're in a dark place now, but when we're out in the bright sun, it's very difficult to see this.
So, I mean, my screen articulates way better than yours does.
Yes.
I like being able to do the selfie thing, which you can do as well, but I can also go high angle, low angle.
Right.
Yours sucks. It's one of those crappy.
Yeah, you got to flip it upside down.
ones.
But I've got a touch screen, and
True.
honestly, like I've got these little touch pads on my gloves. A lot of the buttons I'm finding hard to use, but I can control pretty much every aspect of the camera through the touch screen with this guy.
That. Okay, but control dial surfaces, I mean, everything's hard to use in mitts. I've got the back wheel here. I've got
all
a nice
of your dials,
front ring.
all your dials suck. With this, I got a nice clicky top dial here, works great. The aperture ring actually has a little nub for me to grab onto. Again, I'm having an easy time shooting this with gloves.
Okay, so the aperture ring is there, and I know it looks really retro cool, but frankly, I hate when you put an aperture ring on a lens that has a floating aperture because half the time it's, you know, it's not reflecting the right aperture. And I've got this nice, smooth, quiet dial here, which does the exact same thing, and I can customize it for other stuff. But it makes annoying clicky noises when you turn that aperture, which is silly.
Yeah, for video it's a pain, but in the cold when I'm shooting stills, it's great. I just wish I had the option to cycle between like a non-clicky and a clicky one like the G7X2.
Because I mentioned that I have a viewfinder in this camera.
Okay, I will give you the viewfinder. It would be really sweet out here right now. God, it's like the hedge maze in The Shining out here. I think it's probably going to end the exact same way. I just don't know if I'm the little boy or Nicholson. Yeah, just looking for some nice contrast and looking for a few opportunities to demonstrate that you can actually get a little bit of shallow depth of field with this chip as well. Mostly I'm focused on feeling my extremities though.
So what I'm looking for when I shoot is mostly just anything phallic.
I just can't get over how well this setup works while I'm shooting with gloves right now. Like, I really don't feel like I'm giving up any control shooting this way. And this is a great example of where I love 1-inch chips. Having this extra dynamic range here can totally underexpose that shot, but I know I've got all the information that I'm still gonna need in the histogram there.
So Jordan, I know that you're really enjoying shooting with the gloves on, and I've been talking about that. I'm having a really hard time with it. I gotta literally take my gloves off every time. But one thing I'm not jealous about is shooting speed.
Right.
I mean, the RX100 Mark V just kicks the crap out of that camera and pretty much any other camera in its class.
Any camera, basically.
I mean, having 61% coverage with phase detect autofocus across the screen, being able to shoot full autofocus, 24 frames per second raw files, 20 megapixels, you can't even come close to touching that.
And yeah, 10 frames per second on my LX10 is not bad, honestly. But I mean, your camera is I mean, that's the big advantage over the RX100 IV. You do have that, and basically, I mean, 24 frames per second is the same speed we're shooting right now. So if you want, you can shoot a series of bursts and make like an amazing 20 megapixel raw movie out of it.
I mean, it's insane, and it's not just the shooting speed; it's also the buffer. I mean, the RX100 Mark V has a killer buffer. I can shoot and shoot and shoot 150 JPEGs in a row. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, so I get like a couple seconds of raw shooting on this, and it's content.
And I would like to say, just to kick your ass on this whole competition about it, is it's not just better stat-wise, but it really does make a camera like this, pocket-sized kind of thing, game-changing in the kind of stuff that you can tackle with it.
No, I've always found Panasonic's lens-based stabilizer is really good. Certainly better than what Levi's doing now, shooting handheld, because the tripod's too cold to touch, and he doesn't have a stabilized lens on there. So yeah, it's certainly nice to know that handheld footage going to look a lot better on this. I still wouldn't walk with it, anything like that. It's not as good as like the Olympus system, but if you're just trying to keep a shot steady, handheld, it does a pretty respectable job, actually.
I'll tell you one thing, this camera's making my hands really cold because I can't wear gloves while shooting it. The grip is still not great, and of course I'm not getting any sensation, like any feeling or blood flow or anything like that in my fingers, so I could drop this at any moment. Although possibly I could just lick the outside of it and basically freeze it into my skin. That'd be pretty secure. Overall too, the RX100 Mark V, this is the 5th version of this camera, and I love the body design, but it's not perfect. And I guess the only thing I'm really confused about is why is Sony not improving the body in some ways as we go through these iterations? It just seems like the design is still the same as the first version, and I wish they would kind of, make some improvements where it needs it.
This is driving me crazy. I keep trying to shoot video out here. And it's way too bright, and I have no ND filter, and I didn't think to bring one I could just physically hold in front of this lens.
And even then, it'd be a pain in the butt and have to hold it physically in front of the lens.
It sucks, man.
Well, I do happen to have a 3-stop ND filter on my camera, actually, Jordan, which I'm sure you'd be missing right now.
Was that worth the extra $300?
Well, today so far, no, because I haven't been using it. I've just been shooting fast shutter speeds like an but yeah, no, it is going to come in handy when I do actually have to compete.
It's making me not want to shoot video because I know I'm going to have fast shutter speeds and I'm going to hate the footage. Well, I now know without any doubt why they decided to shoot the Revenant out here.
So TCS TV viewers, as you can clearly see, we have changed locations. We actually had
Ogden was depressing.
So. It was colorful, but it was too cold, and our batteries are actually suffering. And I'm going to say, actually, the Sony was having a really hard time.
Yeah, I've been switching batteries more, which I think are helping mine, but it hasn't done that bad, actually. I still haven't completely killed a battery.
No, I had a really hard time with that, keeping them warm enough. So back to the store, we grabbed some fresh batteries, let them warm up, and because we're already downtown, we decided, well, why not come to Chinatown?
Yeah, we can actually see some color here and maybe find like a bowl of hot food that'll fix what's going on.
In fact, I think we should do that before we do anything else.
Let's do that now. Okay. Oh, good God. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So we were tired of the cold.
Yes.
We went and got some hot soup.
Yes.
We got to relax, warm up a bit. We
Fixed
desperately
everything.
needed it, yeah. And while we were there, we decided, hey, why don't we get some res tests done and some low light shots? So let's talk about that next.
Okay.
So low light, we shot 3200 ISO and 6400 ISO. And as the people at home look at the samples of the two cameras, what did we really find? It was pretty close.
Yeah, I would say maybe a hair of an edge to the Panasonic, but it's so marginal.
Yeah, I agree. It does look a little bit more detailed, but it's so minor.
It's all pretty subjective.
Tie.
What isn't a tie, though, is the wide angle. First of all, my lens is brighter. So
fair enough.
I can shoot it at 1.4, which we've done here, but also then when I stopped it down to 1.8 to match your wide angle
you get a
aperture,
little bit more resolution.
It's a sharper lens. Absolutely. Yeah. So I totally clean up on the wide angle.
No. Because then when we go to the telephoto range and we have a look where they're both the exact same aperture, the Sony lens actually does look a little bit sharper.
Maybe a hair, but mine is also 2 millimeters longer.
Exactly. No, I think that it equals out. So I think tie when it comes to the sensor difference.
All right. So we'll have the same minimum focus distance if we hit and we're both in focus.
Okay, well, let's see. You're going closer?
I'm in focus there.
What? Okay, take your shot.
Stop shaking.
You're shaking because I have to go. Don't move.
Oh, I have way better macro.
That's my minimum there.
Okay, so that is definitely a huge crushing victory for the LX10, one that I don't know if Chris's camera will ever be able to recover from.
I am legitimately crushed. I'm crushing hard right now. All right, well, I guess we can't stay in here forever.
All right, let's just go brave it for a little while.
All right.
I mean, after that macro victory, I think we just have to quickly wrap this up and claim me the winner. All right, so I'm going to do a little slow-mo footage of this steam out here. And it just locked all of my exposure controls as soon as I did that. I have no idea what my shutter speed is, and it's saying my stabilizer's turned off. And looks like a pretty restrictive slow motion mode. Here we go. But it is still 1080 recording at 120, which is kind of cool.
Yes. Now, admittedly, it takes a little while after it buffers to really write that file home, but it does it conveniently. I can put it into 24 frames per second for this video. I could do it into 30, whatever. I mean, it's a really, really nice system that they have set up here. So we're back inside. We didn't last very long out there in the cold. That was about 3 minutes.
We are cowards.
Now, we're going to talk about video next, but are you sure you want to do this to yourself?
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't want to shame you, on our show.
Like a Panasonic, they know how to make a good video shooting compact.
Which makes this even worse because you're just going to get ruined even though you have a really capable video camera.
Yeah, it is very capable. I mean, the thing that drove me nuts all day is the crop in 4K video recording, and this is shared on a lot of the Panasonics. It's like a 36 to 105.
Mine has no
lens.
crop.
I know.
It oversamples. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, the front LSI processor, I'm getting full sensor readout. I'm getting better low light performance. I mean, quality's sharper.
Your video is sharper,
slow motion's
especially.
better and sharper. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my major advantage on this is the interface is actually pretty easy to work with when I am shooting video. I mean, that's where those touch controls and everything come back into play.
But the autofocus on the Panasonic's not very good.
The autofocus is not good.
And mine is
surprised. It still hasn't gotten any better. Yours has awesome autofocus.
The only concession I'm going to give you is, and even not just for videos, I'm going to be gracious enough to do this for stills as well. I do wish that I could access a touch screen in video and stills, having that great phase detect autofocus.
It's just quick access to everything that you need quickly. With the Sonys, I always find I'm like changing all my settings going from still to video. I didn't find that with this. But overall quality, I mean,
I've got it.
It's
I've got
amazing.
more features, the built-in ND filters.
It's the most capable,
the separate controls on the dial
camera.
make it easy.
Yeah, you know what? Just you win.
I win.
You win.
Thank
I can see it.
You heard. So when it comes to autofocus, Jordan, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a pretty easy thing. We tested these before, and point to point, I just beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I go that far.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
In low light and good light, my focus is faster point to
point. Point to point, but then the Sony has better continuous autofocus.
Yeah, because of the phase detection.
Absolutely, because of the phase detection system. It covers like 61% of the screen. It's very, very accurate and very, very quick. And on top of that, it's not like the Sony's crappy at single point. So I think if you take it as an overall system, the Sony wins. Yeah, it does.
A lot of people like single point autofocus.
I love single point.
All right. So I'm looking at the autofocus rendition on this, and it's not bad. It's a little busy, honestly. Like where I want Chris to just turn into soft swirling colors. We're not really seeing that effect here.
You just want to turn me into much? I think the Sony lens actually looks pretty decent for bokeh. I mean, it's.
I've always found that with that lens.
Yeah, it's a nice rendering. I have no complaints. Autofocus areas look nice and round. No weird aperture shapes. Even to the corners, we're not getting strange ovals. So, yeah, I've always liked the Sony lens on this camera.
One thing I will say that I hope Chris doesn't happen to overhear is this lens opens up to 1.4 and it's quite central sharp at 1.4, but it is very soft at the edges at that. You can see this example here. And it's not shocking considering the wide aperture, but it is a little bit of a downer.
Was I not supposed to overhear?
I just love the focus system on this, like single point, point to point.
Okay.
It's just killing it.
Oh, I thought you were just saying something about your lens being really soft at the edges.
No, nothing like that, man. Not a thing.
Okay, so we're back in a nice warm store.
That's nice.
Time to wrap it up.
Okay.
I think it's easy. I won this competition. This is a better camera.
No. In terms of number of categories and things like that, absolutely you did. But you are forgetting that yours is a much more expensive camera.
Sure.
And in terms of image quality, we're basically at par. but
Okay.
I certainly have the better lens. It's brighter at the wide angle.
You have a
It has
slightly
2
better
additional
lens.
millimeters at the telephoto end. And in terms of handling, I think I absolutely clean it up. I've
I don't
got
know
the
if you
nice
absolutely
dials.
clean it up.
The touch screen makes all the difference in the world with a camera with this much functionality that's
The touch
this
screen
compact.
is fantastic, but you have no viewfinder. That's a huge minus.
But I didn't
Your
see you
grip
use
is
the viewfinder the entire day.
That
so
doesn't
maybe
matter.
we
I
always
have
say a
it there.
viewfinder's
Okay,
so
here, check
important.
this out. Look.
I bet
Oh, I just used it. There you go.
All right, so handling.
So handling there, I think I win. I mean, you know, overall too, when you're getting a small camera like this, something that you're gonna have as a pocket camera, you're gonna go traveling with it, it has to be all that it can be, all right?
mean,
this camera has way better video capability, it has good image quality, it has crazy fast focusing.
Right.
I could tackle sports with this, I could tackle action, I could tackle video capability stuff, slow motion kind of stuff, event work even. I mean, you know, it's fantastic.
Well,
already.
I mean, the big limitation to that is a lot of those extra features that you're paying more for over an RX100 Mark IV, I don't think this is the right focal length for it. I don't use my 2470 to shoot sports and stuff where I need 24 frames per second or, you know, a really good continuous autofocus system.
Okay.
And it's a wide angle on a 1-inch chip, so you don't need an awesome autofocus system because depth of field's quite large anyways. This
Okay, but
certainly
think
was
about things
competent.
like trying to capture kids' facial expressions and family photos, and,
Right.
you know, pets and stuff like that.
But
This
do I
is gonna
need
be
20
excellent for it.
megapixel RAW for that? Because I've got the awesome 4K photo
It
mode
can
in
shoot
here,
JPEG
which can do
at
a really
that high
nice
frame
job.
rate too. I mean, here's my main issue with it, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want to get across. Panasonic make fantastic cameras and designs. So why are they, like every other person on the planet, making something that they're trying to compete right across, straight on, one-to-one with the RX100s?
Well, I think
why
it's
not do
because
something innovative,
the
something
RX100
different?
series is so insanely popular that obviously they're thinking they can get a piece of that market. But I think the more compelling Panasonic cameras are the FZ2500 and the ZS100.
Sure, absolutely. But this camera is just directly trying to copy this camera, and then you're not going to be able to do it. Not with 5 models out.
If you don't use the viewfinder, I think this is a great way to go. If you need the viewfinder or shoot a lot of video, the Sony's a bit more compelling option right now. I think we can leave it at that.
All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sure you'll pick your clear favorite winner. And that's not between Jordan and I. Hopefully that's just between the cameras. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget, check out Instagram, check out Twitter, subscribe.
Yeah, and we want to give a big shout out to Levi Holwell. You can see his Instagram right
always,
here.
always great helping us out.
He does help us out a lot, and we do really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But guys, we'll see you next time. Maybe we'll do another shootout next month.
And if you're planning on visiting Alberta, I recommend doing it in the springtime. So I know it looks like I'm recording this video in super slow motion, but that's Jordan actually trying to build a softbox at regular speed. Take your time.